Hello everyone! The most exciting scenes in movies play with our emotions and, for a brief moment, we don't know where the line between fiction and reality is. But few people know how creators manage to shoot these dangerous and epic scenes. Well, it's time to show you the filming process from behind the camera. Let's get it on! The Butcher of Blaviken. Aren't you still excited about the first season of The Witcher? A great atmosphere, a song that became a meme, and of course, the incredible Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia. At the end of the first episode, there is a spectacular scene where the White Wolf faces some bandits. This highly dynamic battle literally lasts 1 minute, but this is enough for Geralt to finish off his enemies with his sword. However, in reality, there was no sword. It was created by the VFX team. The actor reflects the attacks or mercilessly slashes his opponents with half a sword. The other half was added with CGI, so that Henry Cavill could make as many complex and dangerous moves as possible without hurting anyone on the set. Yep, you heard it right. The battle scene in Blaviken was performed by the actor himself. It was also quite challenging for the other actors, as they had to act as if Geralt really had a sword in his hands. We have to admit, they did a great job. Tom Cruise in a helicopter. Tom Cruise is arguably the most daring actor in history. You probably know that he does all tricks, even the most dangerous and daring ones, by himself. During his career, insurance agents got used to this behavior, but they must have had a nervous breakdown on the set of the movie Mission Impossible: Fallout. Do you remember the helicopter battle scene? We'll remind you anyway. It involves a 360-degree turn over a cliff, a race through a narrow canyon, a dive through the clouds and back, and several risky and almost deadly tricks. The scene was filmed in New Zealand. This was the only country that allowed the filmmakers to perform the tricks. Now imagine the director's reaction when Tom said, "I'm going to Airbus flight school to learn how to fly a helicopter." And he did. It took the actor 3 months to learn, after training at least 8 hours a day. Watch this scene again. 13 helicopters literally flying 1 meter apart in a narrow canyon. One wrong move can cause a tragedy. But Tom is not only flying the helicopter, he's also controlling the camera inside the cockpit. This guy is crazy, but that's why we admire him. Dogs from I Am Legend. The film I Am Legend is full of spectacular moments.
Awesome.
But the scene in which the protagonist is attacked by infected dogs is one of the most dramatic and intense of the whole film. When the creepy zombie dogs rush out after the last sunbeam disappears, our hearts sank into our stomach. When one of the monsters is hovering over Will Smith's face, snapping his teeth and drooling, it's impossible to stay indifferent. The monster's about to devour the poor man. But if you look behind the scenes and discover how this spectacular episode was filmed, you'll have a good laugh. Because the way this scene was filmed is very funny. While Will Smith is lying on the floor panicking, an actor in a green outfit leans over him with a creepy puppet dog on his hand. We admire Will's acting skills and his ability to hold back laughter in such circumstances. Realistic John Wick. Why do we like the story of John Wick so much, the retired hitman, besides the amazing performance of Keanu Reeves? Obviously, we can see shooting, car chases, fights, and much more in many other action movies, but only in John Wick, the criminal world looks particularly real. It's easy to figure out why this film is so successful. Just take a look at the filming process. There's less CGI and more live scenes. To create a unique and original movie, all the team worked at 110%. Keanu, for example, trained for 4 months to master different battle techniques. More precisely, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. In addition to judo and jiu-jitsu, the actor learned to stunt drive and shoot with pistols and rifles.
Shoot. Empty. Pistol.
All this complex choreography, hit, shot, throw, knife attack, was performed by the actor. Well, we always knew he was a genius, didn't we? But that wasn't enough for the creators either. They wanted the main villain, Viggo, to have his own individual fighting style as well. To do that, Michael Nyqvist, the actor who played the character, had to start training in Sweden, his home country, long before the shooting started. Even Adrian Palicki spent more than a month practicing jiu-jitsu to make the fight between Perkins and Wick seem more convincing. And we all know the result was worth it. Action scenes in Hobbs and Shaw. The 9th film, just think about that number, of the Fast and Furious franchise lasts almost 2.5 hours, but the time flies by when you're enjoying the show. Hobbs and Shaw has a great sense of humor and features an excellent cast, but the action scenes are the most important thing in this spin-off. There are several incredible scenes that make the audience forget about the popcorn and look at the screen without blinking. We're talking about incredible fights, exciting chases, and total destruction in different parts of the world. But behind the scenes, these images are much less incredible. Didn't think all this was real, did you? Most of the filming process consists of actors hanging from ropes against a green screen. Chases over skyscrapers, falling helicopters, explosions, tons of breaking glass. All of this is created with the help of computer graphics. Does that make the film any worse? Of course not! The special effects surprise the imagination. As in John Wick, Hobbs and Shaw was the result of a great effort, albeit in other aspects. Anyway, the spectators can enjoy the show. CGI in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. In terms of special effects, Marvel's films are the best of the best. Let's talk about the 9th film, again, of Marvel's cinematic universe. The action scenes in Captain America: The Winter Soldier are incredibly cool. According to the director of photography, Trent Opelok, they tried to achieve greater realism using classic framing and naturalistic lighting. But we know what the main secret is. Here's a perfect example. In real life, the actors are standing in a small room against a green screen. But in the film, we see a whole world around them, worked out down to the smallest detail.
And the scene with the helicarrier falling is a masterpiece.
Several layers of complicated graphics, smoke, water, fire, debris, create a few seconds of action. It's incredible that the film didn't win an Oscar for Best Visual Effects, but even without awards, it's still great. Chase and Extraction. There is no doubt that the 12-minute chase scene from the action movie Extraction will go down in history. It looks like a continuous take, but in reality, it's composed of 36 shots full of extremely complex tricks. We must thank director Sam Hargrave, who worked as an action stuntman in the past, for this impressive piece of cinema. His background allowed him to literally dive into action. Once Chris Hemsworth's stuntman jumps off a roof or falls off a balcony, Sam follows him with a camera in his hand. To make the best shots, Hargrave pretty much risked his life. For example, he was tied to the hood of a moving car to film the protagonist's car from behind. However, the dust that rose into the air caused an accident, and the director's legs got caught in the other car. A couple of more inches, and the film would have been left without a director. What aren't artists willing to do for their art? Kingsman. The bar fight in Kingsman, The Golden Circle, is almost as cool as the notorious church fight from the first movie. It seems that this battle full of stunts was recorded in one take, but in fact, this short episode consists of about 100 fragments. According to the VFX supervisor Mark Breakspear, the most complicated and time-consuming part was the painstaking face replacements, as almost the entire scene was shot using stuntmen. Just imagine. It took several months to edit the fight, which only lasts 1 minute in the movie. VFX in 2000s. Well, the skeptics will say, with modern technology, anyone can do something like that. Let's see an example of outstanding visual effects from the beginning of the century. Okay, Sam Raimi, it's your time to shine. Some viewers have already forgotten the wonders this director performed at the turn of the century. Fans of this legendary film trilogy have probably already guessed that we're talking about the Spider-Man films from 2002, 2004, and 2007, which captivated audiences with their special effects. Take, for example, the epic appearance of Dr. Octopus in the second film. You can see some little defects if you look closely, but that was 16 years ago. Not in vain, the film won an Oscar for Best Visual Effects. Spider-Man 3 was also nominated for a Saturn Award for Best Special Effects and a BAFTA for Best Visual Effects. Even the first film of the trilogy is great. Look how it looked during the animation stage and how it looks at the end. Are you impressed? No wonder. CGI Spider-Man.
Let's roll camera!
Have the films about Spider-Man changed over time? You bet. Let's take a look at the movie Spider-Man: Far From Home. The visual effects were created by several studios, in particular Framestore, Sony Pictures Imageworks, and Scanline VFX, among others. Method Studios, for example, added the main character to the boat scene in Venice. Scanline artists created the elementals of earth and water, and Sony artists recreated a three-dimensional model of Tower Bridge. The team of specialists worked so hard that literally every shot in the film contained CGI. Even this car was computer-generated. Why? Apparently, to test the limits of visual effects and push them even further. Now, it is almost impossible to imagine a film without CGI, so there's only one question left. What will the movies of the future look like?
Hold on a second. Do you want to see some crazy stories from real life? Nothing dull, only action. Only adventures, chases and fights, love confessions and sudden betrayals. Don't believe us? Follow the link and see for yourselves. Our animation channel Private Diary reveals the deepest secrets. Don't forget to subscribe.